Welcome to Program Oversight. This is Unit 7 in the training series, Being the Best Community Action Board. A community services block grant law requires a CSBG-funded entity to have a tripartite board that fully participates in the development, planning, implementation, and evaluation of the program. This is the second of 3 units in which we are looking at the board's responsibility for evaluation. Information Memorandum 82 lists agency programs and services as one of a board's 9 fiduciary responsibilities. As we did with financial oversight, we're going to look at the board's responsibility for program oversight from the point of view of the 3 challenges that we discussed in Unit 5. What does the board need to know? How does the board obtain that information? And how does the board make sense of that information?
What program information does a board need? Answers to 4 questions will give us a comprehensive picture of program effectiveness. 1. Did the program create positive change for low-income people, for the community? 2. Were programs administered by the rules? 3. Were program participants treated respectfully and positively? 4. Did programs make effective use of other community resources?
The ultimate program oversight test is, so what? We took the money, we delivered the service. Did we change lives? In other words, so what? Community action has a tool to answer that question. The national goals and performance indicators count results, not just activities or bodies. The National Goals Framework was created by the CSBG program, but it was designed to be used to plan and measure all agency outcomes. It was designed as a tool for thinking about programs in terms of the differences they make in people's lives. Program oversight starts then with strategic and annual plans that specify the changes the Community Action Agency will bring about. Let's look at an example. Goal 6 is that low-income people will strengthen their family and other supportive systems. The third objective in Goal 6 measures participation in developmental or enrichment programs. For instance, a Head Start program collects data on infants and children, about their immunizations, medical and dental care, about how the nutrition they received supported their health and physical development, about the school readiness skills they developed, and about their developmental readiness to enter kindergarten or 1st grade.
Program oversight has to determine that employees played by the rules. The board needs to verify that the people it assisted were eligible for the help they received. Family income is the most important qualifier in anti-poverty programs. Each program requires different forms of proof of income. Pay stubs or income tax returns are the most common. Applicants in some programs can make a self-declaration of little or no income. Most programs require that a copy of income documents be put in the applicant's file. The number of household members is used in calculating applicants' percent of poverty income. Income from all household members has to be declared. Energy assistance and weatherization program applicants must present a copy of their utility bill or bills. Families accepted for weatherization may have to prove they own their homes or that their home is not for sale. Rental property cannot be weatherized without signed permission from the landlord. Head Start and Early Head Start accept children with special needs regardless of their income. Their applications, though, have to include reports or diagnosis from medical professionals. Applicants to family self-sufficiency programs usually sign a written agreement that states their responsibilities. Community action agencies help individuals pursue training or education. They, in turn, have to document their activities each school term, with copies of their approved course schedule, scholarships or loans received, and their grades.
Third, program oversight should evaluate the experience of program participants. Feedback from program participants comes primarily through written surveys or personal interviews. Participant feedback is most frequently collected when they leave a program. This is easiest when project staff know when someone will end their participation. Persons who just quit participating may be more difficult to locate. They also might not want to cooperate. Programs with frequent contact and extended participation, such as Head Start and Self-Sufficiency, benefit the most from participant feedback. One-time program participants are the hardest to get feedback from. For that reason, special efforts should be made to get their opinions. Otherwise, hundreds of participants could be affected before problem areas are identified and corrected. Just 3 questions can produce very helpful information about a program. 1. What program activities, services, or information were most helpful to you? 2. What help didn't you get from the program that you thought you would get? And 3. Was any part of the program negative or discouraging? So the board should look for evidence that participant feedback is being collected regularly. It should also look for how that feedback has been used. Program committee members could interview participants and program staff as part of their oversight responsibilities.
Finally, program oversight should look at how well services were coordinated with other community programs and organizations. National Goal 4 focuses on partnerships among supporters and providers of service to low-income people. That expectation goes all the way back to the Economic Opportunity Act in 1964. The 1970 instruction to agencies stated that a community action agency must coordinate its plan with those of other agencies and institutions responsible for poverty-related programs. The information memorandum reinforces that charge, stating, board members are also encouraged to help the agency establish and maintain working relationships or partnerships with other public and private agencies and programs in the community that can help achieve community action results. Community action agencies only report nationally the number and type of organizations with which they collaborate. The board should regularly evaluate the quality of those partnerships when it approves contracts or agreements.
How does a board obtain program information? The board gets program information from the staff. It might be presented by a program director or manager, the finance officer, or the executive officer. Alternatively, the information could be presented to the program committee. The committee would then make recommendations to the board based on the information. A funding application or proposal presented to the board for approval should include basic information, such as the project or program name, the project director or manager, the funding period, the funding source, the amount of funds requested, whether the request is for new or continued funding, and the amount of funding in the current year. Proposals should also describe who will be assisted, what kind of assistance they will receive, what will make them eligible for the program, how many individuals or families will be assisted.
A board also obtains program information from reports. Monthly reports are most useful for programs with more than one deadline in the year. They are the best source for detecting when plans start to get off track. The Energy Assistance Program, for example, has dates for starting and ending heating assistance. It has different dates for taking applications for cooling assistance. Quarterly reports may not detect when a program starts getting off track. Less frequent reports, however, delay awareness of under or overperformance even more. Problems detected late are harder to correct than problems detected early. Annual results achieved by the Community Action Agency are reported nationally in the framework of the National Goals and Indicators.
How can a board make sense of program information? Program information, like financial information, can overwhelm a board with numbers. Numbers present a picture of activities, persons, and services. The performance indicators present the ways in which a program changed and improved people and their conditions. There is a sample program report in your handouts that illustrates how to combine both numbers and results. Like the dashboard in your car, the report clusters important information about a program. Only a little experience is needed to understand the report. The upper third of the page, outlined in red, contains basic program information.
The shaded area in the upper right corner contains a timeline graphic presenting 3 forms of information. The report month is stated. The number of months completed are represented by the colored cells in the bar timeline. The number of months also appears as percentage to the left of the timeline. Below the timeline is a brief program summary, a quick reminder to jog board members' memories. Service statistics appear in 2 sections in the middle of the page. The top section lists production targets. The bottom section lists performance indicators from National Goal 2, Objective 1D. Both sets of information begin with the goals for a funding period. The next 2 columns contain data from the reporting period. The example reports on a month. It could be for another period, such as 2 months or a quarter. The goals for a reporting period are determined by dividing the contract goal by the number of reporting periods. The last 2 columns present the same information for the program to date. In our example, that's 3 months. These numbers have been color-coded to highlight the meaning for the board.
The colors used in traffic signals were chosen because their meaning is so widely understood. Green indicates all is good and can proceed. Yellow indicates that something is not as it should be, and the board and project staff need to slow down and pay attention. Red indicates that serious issues exist that must be dealt with because they put the program in jeopardy. The staff needs to stop and turn their whole attention to correcting the situation. The 2 highlighted boxes to the right of the Service Statistics section provide non-numerical information about the program. The Solutions box, highlighted in green, can be used to communicate positive program news. Challenges on earlier reports that have been resolved should appear here. Other actions that improved output and quality should also be placed here. The Challenges box, highlighted in purple, reports conditions or activities that are limiting program quality and/or output. Both types of information tell the board that staff are paying attention to the program, that they are identifying program glitches, and acting promptly to get the program back on track. The success story, highlighted in pink at the bottom of the report, shows the board an example of the human dimension of a program and of the positive outcomes that result. This program report format delivers 8 different types of information about a program on a single page. Numbers are used where numbers are appropriate to the information presented. Words are used to communicate other important dimensions of the program. The visual arrangement of the information helps the reader to distinguish each type of information from the others.
To summarize, board oversight of the Community Action Agency's programs rest heavily on reports prepared by the employees in each program. The board should ask to see many different types of information. At least once during a year, the program committee should sit down with each program's manager to review how program information is collected and reported. Unit 8 will wrap up this series with an exploration of how the board carries out oversight of the organization's administration activities. Thank you for your attention to this presentation, and thank you for your service on your Community Action Board.